Wow, how is your weather where you're at? I'm in Southern California and it's not exactly that sunny. I mean, I do feel a little bit of the sun here. I am getting a little bit of the sun's rays, but I will say that there was chemtrails, and I had read something on my channel a few months back. It was infogov.gov, and it was under Title 15, Section 9A, and it was talking about how our so-called, I don't know, if you will, government, I think it's corporations, but they are seeding the clouds. They are doing that. They are causing the weather warfare, which is what we're having. Nevertheless, we could use some rain here, and it, my garden's being watered and my car is getting washed. But have you ever heard the expression, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned? So poetic, but at the same time, whenever somebody puts their orange wood stick right under your fingernail, getting into your skin, it kind of can do a couple of things. Anger you enough that you have righteous anger that you will go and do something about it, right? So when you find out lies, someone has literally lied to you or pulled the carpet out from underneath you or broken your trust, broken their word, what do you do? Do you just cry? Do you just like kick yourself? Start getting the razor blade out and scratching off that oxidized white coat of paint that's on your car that you just suckered bought? It was probably bought for $300 at a tow yard, and you sold it for thousands of dollars and ended up indirectly buying a car for someone else who sold it to you. You know, things like that happen. Or maybe you got suckered into someone doing paperwork for you. And they were promising you all these great things. Your freedom. I called such a person, 3 years ago? Because someone highly recommended, actually 2 people highly recommended the services done by the owl. Anyways, when I finally called the guy, he got back with me. He was randomly driving around in my car, or shall I say traveling, and the connection was bad. Well, obviously I put the little phone right by the air conditioning, so it sounded really terrible. And he had his headphones on, you could tell, because he was having an echo. And I'm thinking, okay, take your headphones off, dude. But he says to me, why do you want this? Why do you want me to work for you and do your paperwork for you? I said, because I want to be free. He goes, that's enough. You said enough. Don't tell no more. I'm at your service. It'll be, diamond package, $1,500. I'll give you a discount. Go about holidays, blah, blah, blah. Pagan holidays, that is. Okay. So all of a sudden you get text messages, fax, send this, what is it called? It wasn't a fax, scan. Send in the scan of your driver's license, the front and the back, your birth certificate, all the pages, whatever, and then your, what is it called? Social Security number, the front and the back. And I'm thinking, I feel a little violated and vulnerable here. Like, and then you want me to give you a power of attorney. I'm like, oh my God, what could you be doing? I mean, gosh, that's like, I'm just giving myself out to you and I don't even know you. And well, yeah. Let's just say a lot of things could happen that you just don't know, right? Yeah. And so when someone pretends to be your brother and they treat you disrespectfully and they demand patience with them. But yet, when you ask a question and they drop you, and then after you've paid them already, they won't answer the phone anymore, and they won't even help you or tell you what to do. And oh, by the way, they revoked their lesson, their class, or their instruction, or our instruction. We'll give you a refund. We'll give you a $200 refund for the instruction part. You mean of what you were going to tell me what to do with my stuff that you did? How is that helping me? You're throwing me under the bus. Owl logo. You're throwing me under the bus. And then when you claim that I'm ignorant, lazy, and I don't want to read, well, that's kind of why I started my channel here. Because apparently I am ignorant. And apparently I was lazy. But I didn't exactly know what things we're supposed to be reading, because there's a lot of stuff out there to read. There's a lot. I mean, like the Bible. I was reading the Bible. I really liked that. And these so-called brothers also like to use the Bible too, or they call it the scriptures. But it's a cloak. It's a cloak. Because what Yahusha, that's Jesus's name in Hebrew, Yahusha, like Joshua, Yosha. He says, who are my brothers and mother and sisters? Those who do the will of the Father. So that's kind of how you can tell. If someone's not doing the will of the Father, that's how you can tell that they're not your brethren, if you're doing the will of the Father. I don't charge anybody anything for any information that I'm learning, because I don't really know a whole lot. I'm just trying to read about stuff and find out what we're supposed to be doing in these uneasy times, because they're making it very uneasy for us to function. You know, stopping us from traveling or going here and there, or even going to work, or even going into a place that you thought you were doing business. You know, the mandates that they have been doing for the federal employees, and they're trying to make you, well, they kind of technically got you as a federal employee if you got a driver's license and the social security number and the birth certificate, but then that's not yours. That's not you. You are the natural person. Isn't that right, Karma? And where are you? What? You want to go places? I know, so do I. I've got to get to the post office. I have a couple of bills that I have done. And then I went ahead and did the certified mail receipt. I don't know if this remittance stuff works. I really don't. I mean, so far in my experience, it's hindered me. It's hindered my business. It's hindered me from calling out. I literally got a great tip from Wonder Lee, and she had told me that there's Talk-A-Tone. It's an app. Talk-A-Tone. It's an app, a phone app that you can download on your phone and get free phone cellular service. I thought, hey, that's going to work. It's a little bit choppy. I guess it depends on your internet where you're at. But hey, at least I'm able to make some phone calls. And I just finished calling Experian. And hey, that's a thing that we need to all take a look at. I mean, if you've gifted or given out your information, it's a possibility that you might have some identity fraud out there, and that your credit score could be taking a dive if you're getting any notifications from other companies that say, hey, in the last 48 hours, you just had some things that were negatively. We better look at our stuff and see who's doing what, who's reporting this or that, right? We need to do that. Very important. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm in the midst of making myself some breakfast. I got some onions sauteing, and I'm going to put some beans and, chorizo, soy riso, and egg. I'm going to make myself a burrito, and then I got to get to the post office, mail those 2 bills. They're utility bills with a remittance coupon. Hopefully I've done everything right. I don't know. I'm trying to do the things that I'm learning and put it into practice. And hey, if they got a problem with me, they can call me or write me or something and let me know which is the way. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. I'm doing with what I know, and I don't know a whole lot, trying to do the steps. So let's see. I want to share my screen to show you that sometimes you might need to go to the Federal Trade Commission, ftc.gov, and file some complaints. But the first thing you want to do, check this out. Look at Equifax. Write this information down here. Get the phone number or go online to Equifax.com and get your personal credit report. Then we have to look at it and see if everything is correct. Do they have us as a different name? Because they could have your child or somebody on there. And do they have you at the right address? Did you ever live there on that place on Shirley Drive? No, never did. So you gotta have to correct it if it's wrong. And we are being violated, aren't we, Karma? Yes, we are, because I think some of these companies are using our name in the all caps and making us employees of their corporation. Yeah. Anyways, here's the next one. Experian. Here's the number. 888 Experian. Wow, aren't they tricky? Aren't they clever? And then there's transunion.com. So these are some things I got to get on and do it. And I'm going to have to look at all the credit stuffs, see what up. And then when you see something that's wrong or that you're being violated, then you can go ahead and make your identitytheft.gov, Federal Trade Commission. You make your report, then you go over to, I think it's, I think you go ahead and go to Equifax or Experian or TransUnion, show them that you did this identity theft thing, and they better take that stuff off, you know. Negative reporting, that's violating our privacy. How dare that something that happens between a seller and a buyer be put on there for everybody to see? That's definitely what, Title 15, 1692 or something like that? That's a violation of our privacy. So we're going to have to look up some of those codes. I've really been liking following Tamara T. Bush, and I love the fire behind what she's doing, teaching people. Let's look at this boring stuff here and we'll see what it means. Look at the definitions here and see what it means. That's kind of what we all need to do. Each one of us, we all need to do that. So here's some information that if you're shut in because of the weather or you're off today, this is a good thing that you can do. And I need to do it too. Check your credit report, see if everything on there is correct. And obviously there are going to be some violations if they're reporting negatively about you, because that's a violation of your privacy. So you can contact them or contact the car dealerships or whoever that put that on there and have them take it off, because that's wrong for them to violate you like that. And I think that there's also a fine for them to violate you. Just saying. So we can either call those car dealerships or the loan places, the banks, and say, hey, you know, this is on here for way too long and you didn't even give me the opportunity to make a payment. You blocked me from paying. I want this taken off my credit report. So these are some things that we can do. We can call the places, the banks, the places that we thought we were getting a loan, which we weren't getting a loan. They were just using our credit. We were making a credit sale. What do you mean? Well, they checked your credit, right? What do you mean? Did they ask you to fill out an application? Yeah. Did you put your social security number on there? Yes. Did they run your social security number to check your credit? Yeah. Then they used your credit, just like these credit cards use your credit to make a lot of money. And if you're not using it, well, they're using it, right? Kind of like when you put money in the bank. If you got thousands of dollars in the bank, you think that money is just sitting in a little cell? No, they're using it. They're investing it. They're making money and interest. And you maybe have a non-interest bearing bank account thinking, well, I'm just sticking it in there for some strange reason. Well, what are you going to do with it? Well, you could do something like buy silver bullion online, JM bullion. You could do that. That goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That, at least you're making something, right? Yeah. So those are things we all have to do too. So my friend Chaz over there in Laguna, he was suggesting that we pay by check. JM bullion and pay by check. And what was his reasoning? I'm trying to remember. Can't exactly remember what it was. But he said, go online, buy your silver bullion, check that you're going to pay by check instead of through the thing. When it comes, you can send your check. Is that what he said? I think so. I can't remember exactly what was the reasoning for that. I don't remember. I'm going to have to look at my little videotape that I took of him explaining why we write a little check. But anyways, I got to go eat something. I just heard my little dinger ding. My onions are done. I'm going to make my chorizo and soy riso and egg burrito. Then I'm going to go to the post office, return some things, come back home and try to do the Treasury Direct stuff. Ah! Did I say Treasury Direct? Yeah, I did. That and the credit report stuff. It's a lot of stuff. It makes my hair curly. It's either go curly or go crazy, and I'd rather go curly. But that's cool. At least, you know, I got it out of my system. I feel like that was some righteous anger. It's motivating me to get some things done. And yeah, sometimes you do have to report people for messing with you, right? So I'm just saying, don't mess with the woman now. We're supposed to walk in the spirit, and then we will not fulfill the lusts of the flesh, right? Yeah. Be a spiritual person. Don't be going with your emotions. Yeah, we have them. But don't be operating or being led by your feelings. If you have any negative energy or anger or whatever, just get stuff done. Okay? Just be prosperous. Get it out of your system and take care of yourself. Okay? And that's the message for today. And I'm not making any weird hand signal. All righty then. Goodbye.